stands for our acts. The sea can be deep for our diving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Here we are. We're back to Monday. Amazing how it all just keeps going on by, huh? Morning, Leisure. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Should put some more coffee in that cup first. Oh well, what are you gonna do? I'm sure I can go. There's some coffee in it. I'm sure that can take me through the next 20 minutes. All right. Oh, it's back to. I know I'm early. Mondays I'm gonna be a little early. I have Take 12 radio that I do now. Last week went so well they kind of asked me back. Suckers. Suckers. I'm just kidding. I love being on radio. I really do. It's a lot of fun. I find it enjoyable. It's not really a radio. It's pre-recorded radio, but I'm used to pre-recorded radio and stuff. But so most of Mondays this month I'll be doing that. I've got a couple podcasts of my own coming up. Got a book coming out. Got a workbook coming out. That'll be free. But I'm growing stuff over here. Hopefully within about the next month here, I'll have it set up to where if somebody wants to spend a little bit of time with me, that does not include my friends. Okay. All right. And you're just trying to get to a solution. You need help with something in the program or whatever. I'll be available. I will be charging for that. That is a service. I will not be wearing my AA hat during that, but Dion's got to start making a little bit of money. And I was going to do the power washing thing, but I do about 2 days of work and then it knocks me out for a week. So I'm going to have to get in better shape. So it is what it is. I know I look nice and slim. Good morning, Clara. Oh, that was a joke. I don't. All right. Whoop, I got boobs. I got man boobs. Not really, but we can have some fun here, can't we? I mean, it is marked not safe for children. It really is, for good reason. We just, I have a lot of adult humor here and I do a lot of swearing, and some parents don't mind, but I don't want kids just accidentally running into this. All right. Yeah, because they're going to be like, oh, kids are going to be like, oh, let's go look for recovery stuff with Dion. Yeah. I don't think that's happening. I just don't think that's happening. All right. We're going to be in the 12 by 12. I'm just using today's daily reflection as a 12 by 12, page 34, because I know that's not in the 7th or the 8th step. It's going to, that sounds more like the 3rd step, 34. All right. Oh, yeah. The beginning of step 3 is what it is. All right. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Mine turned out okay. Because of circumstance, my daughter's she went to a concert Friday night. My niece was watching the kids. But then she had another babysit, and then my daughter's car broke down, poor thing. So I took my grandkids Saturday night. It's neat because I was talking to my daughter. She's like, I'm sorry all that happened. And I told her, any chance I have with the grandkids, I'm going to take. You don't need to be sorry about that. I want to do it. The fact that I get to do it now is what's important. That's what's important to me. The fact that I can. Before I couldn't. I didn't even have a car. I have a driver's license. I could have done nothing absolutely nothing about it. Now I can. And why is that? Because of step 3 and seeds of faith. Good leeway, Dion. Thanks. Did I do introductions? I don't think I've done introductions. That's not the right thing. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name's Dion. I clearly need to restart my computer because it's going slack. But, oh man, I got too many things. I got too many tabs to restart my computer right now. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and just do the reflection for now, and then we'll get into the 12 by. Well, it's not the way I usually do it because I have until about 10:30, 10:35. So, and then I got to get ready for the next one, right? So let's just go ahead and go over the 12 by 12, page 34 here. We'll read a couple of paragraphs. This is one of my favorite steps. I'm big on the higher power. I'm big on God. Step 3 is a very personal step. It is between you and your higher power. If you want to involve with somebody, I felt very uncomfortable with anybody else being involved. I was very selfish about it, and I'm still very selfish about it. Leisure says we get to do everything that's right, and Claire Joy says, "Boo! Oh shit! It scared me there. I'm easily startled." Actually, I'm not. I'm like one of the hardest people to scare. It's because I know what's going on. My grandkids are constantly hiding from me, and I know where they're at. I know they're doing it. They think they're so. They are. They're sneaky for children. For 7 and 9. I was giving them a hard time yesterday. I'm like, you're 7. You're turning 8. No, you're not. You're 5. You're 5. No, I'm not, Grandpa. I give my grandkids such a hard time. I'm going to toughen them little shits up. All right. Let's just go with page 34. I thought I was going to maybe pick another page, but just because this gets read more often than probably the end of it. Practicing step 3 is like the opening of a door, which to all appearances is still closed and locked. To all appearances, right? All we need is a key and a decision to swing the door open. You don't even have to push the door open. All you got to do is decide. It's the decision that opens the door. It is the key of willingness that we are talking about here. Okay. Now notice the theme. Willingness is almost everything. Now the principle behind step 3 is not willingness, though. What is the principle behind step 3? I forget off the top of my head. It is faith. And faith without works is dead. Well, Dion, but step 3 is a non-action step, and you would be correct. But as soon as you're done with 3, you're supposed to be working on 4. You shouldn't be on 3 very long. Depends on who you are. Because I found there needs to be a connection. I found that 4th step doesn't really stick. It doesn't really do what it needs to do. It doesn't seem to work where they go out because in order to do it, you're going to need something. Courage. And without courage, it's going to be very tough to do. And it doesn't need to be much courage. It can just be a little bit. And what is that? Well, it's a seed. It's the seed of faith. Willingness is the seed of faith. Making the decision. These are the seeds that we're talking about. And we've got to plant them and put them in fertile soil. We've got to water them a little bit. So see, even though these are non-action steps, you're still putting action into your life. Good job. Going to meetings? Working on getting a sponsorship? See, you're putting effort into it. Good job. You make a decision, maybe try 90 and 90, see if that works for you. You did. Good job. Good on you. You got your 30-day chip, so you earned that shit. See, there is action going on. You just doesn't really feel like it, when you're sitting around in a group, not, listening, when you're just listening to stuff. Doesn't feel like you're doing much. Yeah, and that's okay. You are putting a little bit of effort into it. And that's what we're going for. Yeah. Leisure says the program itself is easy if we follow a few simple rules. Let's go for easier because I don't know that anything in the life of an alcoholic is ever easy. Just a little joke. Just a little joke. Oh, what's wrong? Do my pants not smell like you yet, kitty? I'm getting, my legs are being rubbed on a lot. There's only one key, and it's called willingness. Once unlocked by willingness, the door opened almost of itself, and looking through it, we shall see a pathway. I'm really good at dodging cats. I also end up with a lot of, like I jacked up my ankle again this morning. No, dude. No. All right. It reads, this is the way to faith that works. In the first two steps, we are engaged in reflection. We saw that we were powerless over alcohol, but we also perceived that faith of some kind, if only in AA itself, is possible to anyone. These conclusions did not require action. They only required acceptance. And there we are. Now we're at acceptance. What? Acceptance? What do you need before acceptance? Willingness. What do you need before willingness? Awareness. So I become aware of the problem. I become willing to do something about it. And then I can accept it for what it is. Then I can apply action. This is all based off my workbook that I'm putting out. It's the 4 A's to solving problems. Pretty easy to come up with, actually. I don't know how it works. That shit seems to work out well for me. Right. So it didn't require action. It required acceptance. See, this is a decision. It's a black or white decision. Because they're about to get into a part where a lot of people don't necessarily agree. And we're not required to in order for it to work. But step 3 is probably the most important step. To me. Without it, the 4th step, without it, the rest of the steps are not possible to do. Now, that may sound overwhelming, but it is only as overwhelming as you decide it to be. Starting with a little bit of faith is absolutely fine. You do not need to have some overwhelming God consciousness in the beginning for it to take effect. We're just looking for a little bit of courage. We're looking for a connection, and that connection can be very small. Hey, I've been sober 3 weeks. I didn't do this. There you go. Isn't that enough to at least try and believe in something bigger than you? You don't have to believe in God. I don't care. Personally, I believe in God. I believe that God is God. God is everything, and he can be everything to everyone. I believe that. You don't need to believe that way. It's not a requirement. That's how I believe. It didn't start there. No, it did not. My faith did not start there. My faith started on a karmic relationship. You do good things and good things happen. You do bad things and bad things happen. That is where I started. And it worked. It didn't need to be that big. Fuck, I stole it from a TV show called My Name is Earl. It just made sense to me at the time. Whatever makes sense to you at the time. It is a God of your understanding. So stop using the God of misunderstanding, which would be you. All right. So, like all remaining steps, step 3 calls for affirmative action. 4 goes into 5, 6 goes into 7, 8 goes into 9, 10, 11, and 12 are nothing but action. Affirmative. Okay. See, the steps have a preparation steps. 1, 2, and 3 are preparation to 4, which goes into 5, 6 goes into 7, 8 goes into 9. We are prepping to make sure that we are doing the right thing and checking our intentions first. Then we are following through on the program of action. Okay. For it is only by action that we can cut away the self-will, which has blocked the entry of God, or if you like, a higher power into our lives. What does that mean? It means that I'm the only person that can block the sunlight of the spirit. I'm the one that makes. So once I make the decision that I want the sunlight of the Spirit, it's automatic. You may feel it, you may not. I did not feel it immediately. It was a few weeks. And then I turned around one day and went, oh shit. Wow. I just feel different. It just feels different. I love it when people say that and they're around the third side. I'm like, they're just like, I feel different. It's God. That's God, man. I love it. That's what happened to me. It wasn't huge. There was no burning bush. God ain't gonna give me a burning bush. I'm too reactive. I'll throw water on that thing. I will put it out. I'm too much of a codependent. I'm too reactive. All right. So my spiritual experiences was of the slow educational variety. All right. Faith, to be sure, is necessary, but faith alone can avail nothing. But we've got to start with somewhere, right? So we're planting seeds. Therefore, our problem now becomes just and how and by what specific means shall we be able to let him in? Step 3 represents our first attempt to do this. And here it is. In fact, the whole effectiveness of the whole AA program will rest upon how well and earnestly we have tried to come to a decision and turn our will and our lives over the care of God as we understood him. The more, right? So it's weird because we're not going to ask you to give up one thing. We're going to ask you to give up everything. It's weird. It's an all or nothing proposition. It feels overwhelming, but I'm going to tell you something. If you want to take it back, you can take it back anytime you want. I don't want you to feel like you're totally powerless because you're not. You're not powerless over everything in this world. I'm powerless over alcohol. A few other things that I have found out about. Yeah. Okay. I have some other issues. That's okay too. This was an all or nothing proposition for me. I couldn't take it anymore. There wasn't one part of my life. There was not one part of my life that I was running correctly. Not one. I needed the reset. I needed to give everything over to God. I was okay with it. That was not my sticking point. Perfection was my sticking point. Everybody's got a sticking point in the program. If you didn't, you wouldn't be a good defiant alcoholic. Wouldn't be. Right? So, even though it's small, the faith is small, the action is mighty. The action is mighty. Right? So, I know. You got to experience it. Right? So start small. It's okay. If you want to start big, go for it. Okay? May give up a little bit of your time or a little bit of your stuff to God at first. See how he handles it. Before you know it, you're going to be giving everything up because the gifts and the consequences from God are good. What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Because when I step into that 4th step, I'm going to have to face my snakes. Trauma comes up. Old feelings come up. The hurt comes back while you're doing it. Well, if you have that 3rd step prayer going for you, then you can continually see. The important thing is when I did my 4th step, I was allowed to work on it for 15 to 20 minutes a day. And then I closed it and I gave it to God. God, this is yours now. This is none of my business anymore. And I would put it away. If 10 minutes later I thought of something else I need to put on my 4th step, nope, I'm done for the day. God, it's yours. Please remind me tomorrow and I'll put it on there. I was practicing something. I was learning something. Well, what are we learning? And it's a skill that every single one of us are going to need. Delayed gratification. because we've been wanting instant gratification all of our lives. Most people live on instant gratification in the world. It's worrisome. We want everything and we want it right now. God forbid we have a little patience for something in this world. Right? All right, let's do another paragraph here. We'll start to, maybe we'll probably start to wrap up here. To every worldly and practical minded beginner, this step looks hard, even impossible. No matter how much one wishes to try, exactly how can he turn his will and his own life over the care of whatever God he thinks there is? Fortunately, we who tried it and with equal misgivings can testify that anyone at all can begin to do it. We can further add that a beginning, even the smallest, is all that's needed. Once we have placed the key of willingness in the lock and have the door ever so slightly open, we find we can always open it some more. You have control over your door of willingness, so open it that much and do a little peek in there. Maybe open a little bit more so you can see a little bit further. Go for it. All right, and then here it is. Though self-will may slam it shut again. Now they shouldn't have put may. They're just trying to be nice. So I'm going to redo this. Self-will slam it shut again, as it frequently does. It always responds the moment we again pick up the key of willingness. Now you may have maybe some defiance or something shows up, right? Why my chat disappeared? Maybe some defiance or something shows up. Maybe you refuse and you're not feeling willing that day or whatever. It's okay. Start your day over. Pick up that key of willingness again because it's yours. You're the only one that can pick it up and open the door again. It's okay. Nobody's going to give you shit. Nobody's going to give you crap about it. Nobody's even going to really know. God's not going to give you a hard time about it. He understands. It's happened to me often. And guess what? God still takes me back. Wow. If your kid made a mistake, would you just not talk to them anymore? Morning, Amber. Amber says, oh, people decided to show up today. Oh, thanks. Just kidding. Dion had everyone blocked but me. Kidding even more. Must be Monday morning. Maybe this all sounds mysterious and remote, something like Einstein's theory of relativity or a proposition in nuclear physics. It isn't at all. Let's look how practical it actually is. Every man and woman who has joined AA and intends to stick with that has, without realizing it, made a beginning on step 3. See, you were already doing it. That's part of what goes on. That's part of what goes on in the program. That's why I call it. This would be a Karate Kid moment where you were learning skills, but you hadn't been able to apply them yet. Now you can, and you get excited about the skills that you have learned. Right? Clara says, in other words, where the key of willingness, or in other words, wear the key of willingness around your neck. Yeah, just keep it on you. Put it in your pocket. All right. Isn't it true that in all matters touching upon alcohol, each of them has decided to turn his or her life over the care, protection, and guidance of Alcoholics Anonymous? Not just Alcoholics Anonymous, but love it, Celebrate Recovery, or even Smart Recovery. See, this is why I say even the ones that don't believe in God, that do this process, okay, that still kind of do this process, or at least the 4th and 5th step, I see God in their lives. I still see God in their lives. All right. So, you turned your will and your life over to the care of a group of people who are fallible. So, see, you've already done it. Already, willingness has been achieved to cast out one's own will and one's own ideas about the alcohol problem in favor of those suggested by AA. Any willing newcomer feels sure AA is the only safe harbor for the foundering vessel he has become. Now, if that's not turning one's will and life over to new providence, then what is it? I'm sure there'll be plenty of people out there that would take that and turn it into their own stuff, but I'm telling you, I ain't going to buy it. All right. Sowing the seeds of faith. The seeds of faith. Here we go. August 4th. Seeds of faith. Faith, to be sure, is necessary, but faith alone can avail nothing. We can have faith, yet keep God out of our lives. 12 by 12 page. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Page 34. As a child, I constantly questioned the existence of God. To a scientific thinker like me, no answer could withstand a thorough dissection until a very patient woman finally said to me, "You must have faith." With that simple statement, the seeds of my recovery were sown. You know, I don't know. Yeah, like growing up, people be like, "Well, are you Star Wars or Star Trek?" I'm like, why can't I like both? Do you like old Metallica or new Metallica? Why can't I like both? I don't, by the way. I only like old Metallica. But why? Why are we? Why do we need to create that? I love science, but not once have I ever taken science to disprove God. No. Wasn't it nice for God to create science for us and do all that to let us be able to figure this stuff out on our own? What if he just gave us everything that we ever wanted and needed and we didn't need to work for it? Well, gosh, we'd all be living in a world of sloth. We don't need these divisions. Okay? I'm tired of people saying science or religion. Fuck you. Fuck off. Okay? You can do both. And I don't need science disproving God for me either. And I don't need religion disproving science that it was an act. Yeah, I don't need it. These are two separate things. God invented science. How about that? This is what I used to tell people. God created apes, which turned into humans. There, now you're all happy. Just shut up. All right. I'm just having fun here. Today, as I practice my recovery, cutting back the weeds of alcoholism, slowly I'm letting those early seeds of faith grow and bloom. Each day of recovery, of ardent gardening, brings the higher power of my understanding more fully into my life. My God has always been with me through faith, but it is my responsibility to have the willingness to accept his presence. I ask God to grant me the willingness to do his will. See, I did this part years ago. Now I'm sitting at a little over 9 years, and that seed that I planted is now a sapling. It's now a sapling. It's kind of grown more into fruition. It's bigger than it used to be. One day it'll be a tree that other people can sit in the shade. I will not be around at that point anymore. But you know what happened? There were people that came before me who planted trees, and I got to sit in that shade. There is a whole grove of trees for me to sit in because of the people that came before me. Okay, that's paying it forward. Claire says knowledge will avail us nothing. Yeah, self-knowledge in this situation isn't going to do much good. Okay? And a half measure is not going to mail you nothing. Amber says God's will for us is to be happy, joyous, and free. So he gave us science because we're curious. I know you're joking, but I don't disagree with that. He's like, here, have some fun. You don't need to believe in me. For us, science is like watching our kids play pretend in the backyard. It's the same thing. He's like, I'll let you guys play pretend. Go for it. Isn't that kind of God? Clara says, he who has all power, that one is God. May you find him now. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I got to go set up and change my shirt and stuff. Mentally prepare. Take 12 will be coming out this afternoon. I believe the topic is the difference between open and closed meetings. So not too big of a topic, but it looks like it's about an hour long. We usually cover the topic for about half an hour. Half the show is a lot of just recovery fun, maybe some music. Sometimes we answer stupid questions like you hear on the radio in the morning and stuff, but it's fun. Um, and we have a good message. Both Monty Man and Roger, they know their stuff. They know their stuff, and it's nice. And I respect them and what they do. So, when they came back and called me last week and said, Dion, would you like to be a regular for the show? Man, that felt pretty nice. Felt nice. So I hope you can catch it. I'll put it out on my Facebook, my regular channels out there. So thank everybody for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and have a